So today we're going to be looking at the lesson 3 for unit 5. Now, yesterday, or previously, we looked at the various different ways that we could use our trig ratios. As a reminder, our trig ratios are sine, cosine, and tangent. Before we get into that, though, let's look at these two algebra problems, because all of our trig ratios are going to look something kind of similar to this. So if we look at A, we have 2 equals a fraction. Well, I don't like fractions, so I'm going to undo that fraction. So to undo fractions, we're going to multiply both sides by the bottom. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 18. So that's gone. So then I have 18 times 2, which is 36, equals our top, x. Well, x is by itself then, so we're done. If we look at the second one, we're going to do the same process. I see a fraction, I don't like fractions, so I'm going to multiply both sides by the bottom. Bottom's gone. So then on the left we have x times 2, or we just have a 2x, equals our top of 18. Well, x is not by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So x equals 9. Now we're going to do this process for all of our trig ratios. The sine, cosine, and tangent. Remember, the phrase that we have is SOHCAHTOA. S-O-H for sine, C-A-H for cosine, T-O-A for tangent. So, let's look at our first problem. Let me erase this real quick. So, our first problem, I'll keep SOHCAHTOA up. First problem says, well, we're going to solve for x. We're going to find our side length. We're still going to round to the nearest thousandth, even though it says hundredth. Rule of thumb, we're always going to do the nearest thousandth. So I see a right triangle. First thing I'm going to do is label all of my sides. So across from my right angle is my hypotenuse. Across from the angle I care about is my opposite. Third side is my adjacent. Now, if we look at this problem, we only know one side. We only know the adjacent side, and that's 3. We kind of know h. We kind of know O, which is x. We don't know anything about h. So for our trig ratios, we cannot use any ratio that uses our h or our hypotenuse. So for SOHCAHTOA, I can't use sine because it has h. I can't use cosine because it has h. Meaning I have to use TOA. So then TOA was tangent. So tangent of our angle equals opposite over adjacent. Well, just like with the opener, I have a fraction, don't like fractions, so I'm going to multiply both sides by the bottom. So I have 3 times tangent 70 equals x. Okay, now I'm going to look at the problem. Oh, well, the problem already has x by itself, so we can type it in the calculator then. So we can type in 3 times tangent 70, and when we do, we end up getting x equal to 8.242. Okay, let's look at the second one. Once again, right triangle. I'm going to label all my sides. Across from my right angle is my hypotenuse. Across from the angle I care about is my opposite. Third side is my adjacent. Okay? Well, looking at this problem, the side that is completely blank is my O. So just like in problem 1, I cannot use any trig ratio that has the opposite, or the O. It's not going to be helpful. Meaning I can't use sine because it has the O. I can't use tangent because it has the O. So the only one left is cosine. So cosine of my angle, so cosine of 72 degrees, equals adjacent over hypotenuse, or 4 over x. Once again, I see a fraction. I'm going to multiply both sides by the bottom because I don't like fractions. So I have x times cosine of 72 equals 4. Okay, now I'm going to look at it. Well, x is not by itself, so I need to divide both sides by the cosine 72. So x equals. So in your calculator, we would type in 4 divide cosine 72, and we get x equal to 12.944. Looking at the next example, we have sine, cosine, tangent. Well, we need to label our triangle. Across from our right angle is our hypotenuse. Across from the angle we care about is our O. Third side is our A. Looking at this problem, the side that is completely blank is our A, so we cannot use A. So we cross off the options. So we can't do cosine, cannot do tangent. Only option is sine. So sine of our angle equals O over H, or in this case, X over 16. Once again, fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides by the bottom. I have 16 times sine of 66 equals X. Well, X is by itself now, awesome. So we're going to type it in the calculator. Type in the calculator, we get 14.617. Go ahead and pause the video and try doing example 4. So we're going to label our triangle. Across from our right angle is our H. Across from the angle that we care about is our O. Third side is our A. So just like in example 3, we have nothing there for A. So I cannot use cosine, I cannot use tangent, so it has to be sine. So sine of our angle equals opposite over hypotenuse, or in this case 14 over B. Don't like fractions, so I'm going to multiply both sides by the bottom. I have B times sine 57 equals 14. Well, unfortunately, looking at the problem, x is not by itself, or our variable is not by itself. So we need to divide both sides by sine of 57. Doing so, 14 divided by sine 57, I'm getting 16.693. Okay. Next page, we have angle of elevation and angle of depression. We're going to be dealing with some word problems. Well, we kind of need to talk about what these words mean. Angle of elevation, angle of depression. Angle of elevation is the angle from a horizontal line up. And notice how it's from a horizontal line. So if you look at the picture, here's our horizontal line. Angle of elevation then goes up. So then angle of depression is the angle from a horizontal line but this time down. A way that we've mentioned it before is if you are depressed, you are feeling down. So here's our horizontal line. Angle of depression is going down. So we need to be able to read the words and figure out which one are we dealing with. Are we going from flat up or flat down? So let's look at the first problem. You are measuring the height of a spruce tree. Well, let's draw the spruce tree. There's our tree. You stand 45 feet from the tree. So I know that the distance from the base of the tree to me is 45 feet. And then we measure the angle of elevation, meaning from a flat line up. So the only flat line that we really have is at our feet. So the flat line up to the top of the tree, that angle of elevation is 59 degrees. Find the height of the tree. So we're trying to find how tall this tree is. Well, trees grow at right angles. So let's label our sides. Across from our right angle is our H. Across from the angle we care about is our O. Third side is our A. So in this problem, the side that is completely blank is our H. So we cannot use hypotenuse. So the two ratios that we cannot use are sine and cosine. So this has to be a tangent problem. So tangent of our angle equals O over H, or in this case, X over 45. We have a fraction, don't like them, multiply both sides by the bottom. So we have 45 times tangent of 59 equals X. Well, look at that, X is by itself, so we can plug it in our calculator. Doing so, we roughly get 75 feet. Looking at the next problem, you're measuring the height of a lamppost. So here is our lamppost. It's a horrible drawn one, but it's a lamppost. I know it's also at a right angle to the ground. You stand 40 inches from the base. Once again, here we are. I know distance from the base to me is 40 inches. And angle of elevation So going from the flat up is 70 degrees. So a very sharp angle. Find the height of the lamppost. Well, we have a right triangle, so let's label sides. Across from our right angle is our H. Across from the angle we care about is our O. Third side is our A. So looking at the problem, the side that is completely blank is our H. So just like before, we have to do sine. Or we shouldn't use sine or cosine, we have to use tangent. So tangent of our angle equals O over A, or X over 40. I see a fraction, don't like them, multiply both sides by the bottom. Notice on every single one of these problems, we're always multiplying both sides by the bottom, no matter what. So we have 40 times tangent of 70 equals x. Well, x is by itself. So I can type in the calculator. Doing so, I get roughly 110 inches. Looking at number 7, the last one. You were skiing down a mountain with an altitude of 12,000 feet. So there's my mountain. I know my mountain is from the bottom to the top, 12,000 feet. Angle of depression. So we are at the top of the mountain, skiing down. So angle of depression, so this is a horizontal line going down. So we need to draw in our horizontal line, and it's going down. Angle of depression is 21 degrees. Find the distance you ski down the mountain. Well, last time I checked, we don't ski off of a mountain on a flat horizontal line. We ski down at an angle, so I know that has to be what we're looking for. So let's label sides. Across from a right angle is our H. Across from the angle we care about is our O. Third side is our A. The side that is blank is our A, so we can't use cosine or tangent, so it has to be a sine problem. So sine of our angle equals O over H, or in this case, 12,000 over X. We have a fraction, don't like it, multiply both sides by the bottom. So we have X times sine of 21 equals 12,000, or 1,200. Now, X is not by itself, so we need to divide both sides by sine of 21. Doing so, we get X equals approximately 3,349 feet.